I'm just having a look at the bowling figures here. Matthew Humphreys has gone for 9 runs in 3 overs, so that means that the other 7 overs have gone for, what is it, 100 and... What's my math like? 113 so far.
Hope looks for the big shot. He might be out here, and he is. It's Harry Tector who holds on to the catch, and the opening partnership is broken at 122. Hope is out on 51, which means he's just 5 runs shy of bringing up 1,000 T20 international runs. But for Ireland, it's a breakthrough, and Barry McCarthy has broken the partnership.
As he so often is, a wicket taker for Ireland, Barry McCarthy. Clever bowling. It was a slower delivery. Harry Tector wraps the hands around that one. A much needed wicket for Ireland, but an excellent innings from Shea Hope. 51 for 27 for him. West Indies 122 for 1.
So, change in the batting order for West Indies, change in the situation after that marvellous platform laid down, 122-run opening stand. Rodman Powell comes into the attack, and the 31-year-old Jamaican is a proven ball striker. He is a superb white ball player. Here's the wicket again.
He's just threw the shot too early then, was reaching for it, couldn't get the power of Shea Hope. I think Barry McCarthy had spent plenty of time after he was hit out of the attack thinking about how he was going to take the wicket. But now he's got to bowl to this man, Rodman Powell.
Strikes him on the pads, going down leg.
It just looked a little bit too straight, didn't it? It'll be straight away. Yeah, right decision made by Rolly Black. There was never really any thoughts in here that it might have been crashing into the stumps had his leg not been there. Just a little bit of a problem with our sight screen operators here.
We'll get away with that.
I think they're just checking, did this actually pitch on the playing surface? So is it a wide or is it a no ball?
Okay.
Yeah, just a wide, just about, for Barry McCarthy. Well, if you're watching, you're wondering what's just happened. If you, as a bowler, if it pitches and it's off the cut strip, it's actually a no ball instead of a wide, which would have been a free hit.
So does get away with it, only just. Still been a really good over from Barry McCarthy. This one launched high and long, and Evan Lewis continues on his rampant way. Another 6 that takes him into the 70s.
This is such a good shot. He's given a little bit of width outside off. Just stays so still. Trusts his strength. Trusts the swing. He knows if he hits it like he can, he doesn't need to worry about the field is on the boundary. Just watch out in the crowd.
High on the bat. This is not going to go anywhere near the distance. So it's not going to go anywhere near the fielder either. Tim charges in. End of the 11th. West Indies 131 for 1.
Just 1 wicket for Ireland. Shea Hope, the captain, got to 50 and was dismissed soon after, but it's Evan Lewis who has been the entertainer-in-chief. Robin Powell's, by and large, just been watching from the other end since he's gone out into the middle, but he's very well capable of fireworks of his own.
Straight to Liam McCarthy. Lewis has to scramble it. Did clip the wicket, but Lewis looked to be well in.
Lewis was actually just jogging this. I don't think he expected Liam McCarthy to throw the ball at the stumps. So he had to get a wriggle on.
Beaten as he looked to work White away. Only get the one.
They just helped around the corner. A surprising shot considering how short it is straight. You'd imagine Powell would be thinking back over the bowler's head. He is carded to come in at number 6. He's been elevated because of that brilliant opening stand of 122.
Lewis, that's just brute force. It's going to sail over the sight screen for another 6.
Check this back speed from Lewis. It's, I think, the thing that makes it look so dismissive. He just gets his feet in such a good position, and then just seems to have all the time in the world because he's got such a good swing.
Centuries, and a man who's got 2 in T20 internationals is within 19 of a third.
Amazing striking, and I think Tim Tector's, as I said, he's thinking about that drop catch on 44.
Lewis goes again, and Dockrell can only turn and watch that go over his head. Ben White concedes yet another 6.
Great start to the over, but 2 6s back to back. Again, it just gets the back foot in a great position. Front leg cleared, and the boundary cleared as well. They'll have to get yet another replacement ball. Mark Hawthorne will be wrecked by the end of this game. All these balls he's had to bring out to replace.
Lorcan Tucker has come up to have a word with his bowler, the wicket-keeper. Very much a leader within the squad as well as Lorcan Tucker.
Markadere, he's got 2 overs up his sleeve, but I think Paul Sterling will be hoping he can hold them back towards the back end of the innings. He usually closes out for Ireland's bowling attack.
Full of this time from White, but it's worked away, and it'll run away. Ending the over with a 4.
So frustrating as a bowler. You've come up with a plan, you've executed it nice and full, and Barry McCarthy just couldn't get down quickly enough to cut it off. Frustration for Ben White. 12 gone. West Indies 149 for 1.
So Ireland look like they're going to Humphreys, a man who's bowled exceptionally. In 9 overs outside of Humphreys' bowling, Ireland has gone for 140. Humphreys is 0 for 9 from 3, and he might very well have had the wicket of Evan Lewis. So into his final over, Matthew Humphreys. Starts with a wide.
Yeah, looking to bowl Spirit right in at Rovman Powell. Doesn't want to give him any arms because he knows the brute power of Rovman Powell.
Stumped. That is excellent. The 150 had come up with a wide previously. He bowls another wide, but this time to draw Howell out of his crease. Lorcan Tucker with a neat take and stumps the quintessential power hitter from West Indies. Powell is gone. West Indies 150 for 2.
Absolutely brilliant from Lorcan Tucker. He had a lot of work to do, had to fetch it from way outside off, but Powell couldn't make an impact, elevated to number 3. He goes for 2. West Indies 151 for 2.
Hetmyer makes his way out. Another gloriously talented power hitter from West Indies. The men in maroon have got an incredible lineup. Power hitting ability, brute force, exceptionally quick hands, attacking intent. Hetmyer. Very few players carry the unpredictability and raw talent of Hetmyer. Importantly, Humphreys has got his wicket. He started with 2 wides, bowling that second wide in an attempt to draw Powell out of his crease. Stumping taken.
Well, it does make you think that Matthew Humphreys has just read the batsman so well today. He's put the fielders where they need to be. He's known his plan. He's been able to execute. He's just been one step ahead. He's been the only Irish bowler who seems to have the right game plan today.
Hetmyer off the mark, first ball. Slays it down to long on.
When I say he seems to be able to read the batters, he knew Powell was going to come at him, so he bowled quicker, wider. I think Lorcan Tucker knew it was coming as well. He was alive to the opportunity. Good execution from him as well.
Lewis in the 90s. Miscues it. And Sterling gathers, takes the catch. Lewis gone for 91. And Ireland have removed the danger man. Humphrey strikes for the second time this over.
He's been simply outstanding, hasn't he, Matthew Humphreys? 1 for 2 for 12 now for him. It could have been 3. Again, good execution. Just a little bit quicker, I think, than Evan Lewis was expecting. He saw the length and thought, I'm going to heave this leg side, but he couldn't get the bat through. That famous bat speed not paying off on this occasion. Lewis goes for 91 from just 44 deliveries. West Indies 152 for 3.
Lewis goes for 91 from 44 deliveries. This was cross-turning full Humphrey for those 91 runs.
The man who's had great success in Ireland already in the One Day International Series, back-to-back centuries for Casey Carty, makes his way to the middle now for West Indies, who are 3 down for 152 on debut in T20 internationals. Fine one-day international player, but maybe having been regarded as a little more patient than other players, has never played in this format for West Indies previously, gets his chance here.
A much more classical looking shot than we've seen for the last few overs. Yeah, that extra pace from Matthew Humphreys, you can see it's just surprise Lewis. By and large, he's been taking those balls from outside off stump, whether it be spin or seam, and dispatching them over deep mid-wicket. But Matthew Humphreys, that arm ball, we've been talking about it.
Yeah.
It's a great weapon for him.
And he actually burst onto the scene in West Indies at the Under-19 World Cup. Here he is playing against West Indies. And impressing in this one-off T20 international after the 2 previous matches were rained out.
Good thinking cricketer, Matthew Humphreys. He would have been disappointed not to play in the ODIs, but he's definitely making up for lost time, I guess, here.
It certainly is. That on ball has been so thoroughly impressive. He plays it late, very late. Squeezed out towards Barry McCarthy. No run. One ball to come. And that simply exquisite from Humphreys, who'll try to do the fielding himself. He won't get there. West Indies will take 2, and Humphreys finishes with 2 for 16 from his 4 overs. He's gone at 4 and over in a game in which West Indies find themselves 156 for 3 after 13. With that, 2 new batters at the crease for West Indies. Former West Indies captain Collis Brathwaite back in the commentary box. An opportunity for Casey Carty. He's had great success already in Ireland. Just looks to be hampered by something here, Casey Carty. So going for the chest guard.
I love that as a pacer, seeing a batter call for a chest guard as they toss the ball from hand to hand at the other end.
Interesting little matchup here between the 2 T20 international debutants, Liam McCarthy and Casey Carty, to come. It'll be Hetmyer on strike, but it will be an intriguing battle between Liam McCarthy and Casey Carty. 7 overs remaining. West Indies a very solid 156 for 3 already. Liam McCarthy's gone for 45 in his opening 2 overs. Short and wide through the field and away for 4. Hetmyer capitalises.
Classical shot from Hetmyer. Nice bit of control. You want to exude some batsmanship in this innings. He has a lot of time. With shots like those, he'd want to play more often than not. Get in and build a partnership, and then really explode in the last couple overs.
He's matured as a batter as his career has gone on, Hetmyer. Saw him. I mean, his effortless 6 hitting has always been part of his game, but he's playing a broader range of strokes as he's progressed as an international.
I think the only challenge for him has been on the franchise circuit. He's been a finisher, hasn't played much red ball cricket, so hasn't always been privileged enough to have a weight of balls faced behind him. When he gets going, it's lovely to watch, but it's such a hit and miss role in the bottom as a finisher with the bat. Someone of his talent, I think he has a lot more to offer to himself, to his franchise teams, and more importantly to the West Indies.
Short, wide, and that's cut away up Ishley, but it'll beat the fielder Rossiter. 1 bounce into the fence. Casey Carty with his first boundary of the game.
Yeah, a feature of Casey Carty's batting is his offside play. This is delightful to watch.
Technically very correct is Casey Carty. Shorter again, but a little straighter from Liam McCarthy. Worked away by Carty in that battle of the T20 debutants.
I think a few people may have asked or queried why was Carty not sent out at number 3, why was Rodman pushed up the order. And I quite like that Ryan Griffith standing coach for Darren Sammy, but as a culture, you want that when you're ahead of the game to be proactive and to really ram home that advantage. They tried it didn't work, but now it means that Casey Carty and Hetmyer have best part of 7 to 8 overs of partnership to get in and still go big. You still have Jason Holt and the likes in the back end.
Hetmyer looking for the gap. Has Dockrell managed to stop that? This might be checked, but I think Dockrell's done enough to prevent that from going to the boundary. He looked uncertain for a while as he and Rossiter almost came face to face. Was he touching the boundary rope when the ball struck him again? He stops the ball from hitting the boundary rope initially. The ball itself doesn't reach the padding, but Dockrell touches the boundary rope maybe when the ball hits him. I think that's going to be given as a boundary. So 4 it is.
They did well technically to get around and get his dominant hand to flick the ball up to buy himself some time, but the unfortunate roll back onto his body is what done him.
Oh, Hetmyer hits the shoulder of the bat. Straight over the fielder, Barry McCarthy, and goes away for 4. End of the 14th, West Indies 174 for 3.
Six overs to go here for the West Indies. Current score 174 for 3.
West Indies, 6 overs remaining, 26 away from 200. Casey Carty and Shimron Hetmyer at the crease, only faced 11 balls between them. Earlier today, Casey Carty receiving his cap. T20 international debut for the man from St Martin. Barry McCarthy back into the attack. Beats the bat of Carty. What do you think West Indies will be looking at from this position?
I normally take 10 over for the last 5 as a minimum. Small boundaries, good platform. They'd like to get 13 to 15 over. If they could get 75 from here on in, that's 250. I think that's probably the ceiling. But on the
edged and 4.
talked about his penchant for offside strokes, flashing at it, not out the middle, not as classy as we accustomed to from Carty, but as efficient. And there's 4 fielders in that region: short third, short point, deep point, and sweeper. But he backs himself through the offside so much that he'll still stay leg side and potentially try to cut it for 6, even if he gets the width.
Excellent fielding from Paul Sterling, the Ireland captain. Do you feel that Casey Carty's almost been pigeonholed into being regarded as a one-day international batter who can anchor an innings, who's allowed to be a little more patient? But when he made that 170 against Ireland in the one-day internationals, after he reached his century, just showed his ability to score runs, and very quickly.
Yeah, one of the concerns early in his career was his strike rate. Took too long to get in, but he had a CPL where he proved he could bat at 4 and be dynamic. Touch and go. You hardly ever see that. Bowler give it the benefit of the doubt. Love that for Barry McCarthy. But he had a CPL where he showed that he can come in and bat at 4 and rotate and finish really nicely. And I think it's one thing to do it at the level below, but when he did it in Ireland, how much ever weeks ago, it would have triggered something in him. When he did it against England at the back end of last year, it would have triggered something in him that would have given a level of confidence to tell him that he can do it at this level. But I think that confidence will be shown today.
Barry McCarthy doing a very good spell here. 4 dot balls out of 5, and the boundary was off the edge of Carty's bat. Combative competitor is Barry McCarthy. Made the initial breakthrough for Ireland, removing Shea Hope for a well-played 51.
Yeah, it's been good commitment to the plan, and he has that slightly bigger side. It's not big enough, but he's keeping it out of the reach of Casey Carty.
Goes short, and this is hooked. That's excellent fielding by Dockrell. Gets his body behind it. Coming back for 2. McCarty scrambles home. End of 15, 5 to go. West Indies 180 for 3.
And a good change up. The field is set in such a way that he can bowl that length straight, that slow ball into the wicket. The 3 fielders on the leg side. So whilst the mode of attack for that over has been wide, whether slow and wide or full and wide, he always had the ability and the option to then chuck one straight, which he did. And if you have a look at this card, I think Humphreys has been exceptional. 2 for 16 at a run for over 4. When your team is being absolutely hammered all about the park, bowling 2 very difficult overs in the power play as well. It's been sensational stuff from him, a day's work he'd be proud of.
So talking about one spinner in Matthew Humphreys, 2 for 16 from his 4. Here's Ben White. Hetmyer gets the edge, and that'll be out. Ben White removes Hetmyer for 15. He's only been around for 7 deliveries. And this one, Hetmyer flashed hard, caught the edge. And Ireland have a 4th West Indies wicket.
Yeah, Hetmyer loves the bat spin. Going after.
Man who strolls out is Jason Holder, former captain, very much a leader, but a man who also has remarkable 6-hitting ability. He was at the crease when West Indies bludgeoned 75 from just 4 overs against England only a handful of days ago. And it was a spinner that he was knocking out the park with a great deal of frequency. Adil Rashid, one of the best in the world. So Holder facing up to Ben White. And rather than brute force, goes for a deft touch, and it'll work as well. Runs away for 4. Holder off the mark with a boundary.
Love this from big Jason Holder, getting down, getting back on the ball. Had a lot of pace to work with. Uses sublime hands to get it through the vacant short fine leg area.
To beat the fielder. Humphreys whips it in after racing round. Ben White, good breakthrough at the start of the over, removing Shimron Hetmyer. Rossadair took the catch. Straight down to Markadair now. The single for Carty.
That is one way Ireland could stem the flow of runs and a potential big back end. Get wickets.
And finding the edge. Races to the fielder. Remaining. West Indies with an opening stand of 122. It was eventually broken by Barry McCarthy. Harry Tector caught captain Shea Hope in the deep. He had opened. Managed to get to 51, opening with Evan Lewis, who was eventually out for 91. But since then, the frequency of wickets from Ireland has stemmed the flow of runs somewhat. It's still, the potential for an imposing target is still very much there. But Mark Adair, so adept at bowling in the death overs, makes his way back into the attack. He's got 2 remaining. Bowls from the Mason Road end. Straight back over the bowler's head. Jason Holder goes big.
Good awareness from Jason Holder, stepping wide upside the off stump, bringing himself in line and being able to go downtown. A very pure bat swing, fluid, fluent and far.
Little Caribbean flair from the men in maroon.
Yeah, I've been impressed with Jason Holder's swing throughout the tour of England and now in this innings so far. You always knew he was someone, especially in the longer format, who was very elegant on the eye, a crisp cover drive, a nice back punch and a pull. But you felt as though in years past, sometimes his power game would have let him down and sometimes he tried to overhit the ball.
Yeah.
I think he's found the perfect balance of having that nice pure swing that we know him for, but also timing the ball for sixes as opposed to trying to muscle it.
He's got an incredible mental strength as well, Jason Holder, very much regarded as a bowler in his initial days. But I mean, he's got a test double century.
Yeah, out and out all-rounder. And I think in a red ball sense, if we had some more penetrative bowlers around him, he could have really been that number 6 for us.
Mark Adair, his variations in pace often cause trouble for batters at the death.
Had a really good patch, Jason Holder, a little partnership with Shannon Gabriel and Kemar Roach when beat Sri Lanka and Bangladesh in the Caribbean, went on a good run, ended up being number 1 all round in the world in that COVID series to the UK. And you felt as though had he had a little bit more support, it could have ended also differently.
Short from Mark Adair. Casey Carty doesn't get hold of it. I think back to that, was it 202 not out he scored against England at Bridgetown?
Yeah, it was a day for the Bajans, or a test for the Bajans to beat England. Jason Holder, double 100, Shane Dowrich, century, Roston Chase, 8 for.
Yeah, Roston Chase took 8 for 60 in the second innings and he wasn't man of the match because Holder had taken 2 wickets and demolished the English attack. Again, slower for Mark Adair. So West Indies 5 away from the 200. They've still got overs to play with. This is the 17th here. Mark Adair is bowling very, very adeptly at Jason Holder. After being launched out of the park with his first delivery. Looking to charge, Mark Adair has made a rather daring field placement. Lynn McCarthy has come in almost behind the umpire. So look at Liam McCarthy wearing number 33. He's standing almost behind the umpire. It's not the most common fielding position. Clever bowling from Adair. 3 overs remain. West Indies 196 for 4. experience of Jason Holder at the crease. And then you've got the debutant in Casey Carty at the crease. This will be good for Carty to have Holder at one end. 3 overs remaining for West Indies, 4 away from the 200. Liam McCarthy, he's gone for 63 in his first 3. Lofted, but away from the field.
West Indies fielders, though they've lost a little bit of momentum. Couple wickets. Hetmyer being the last. And Holder and Carty have threatened with the odd boundary or 6 here and there, but they've not really motored on. And with 2.5 overs to go, you're just thinking, how can they make one of these overs a really big over?
Wide down leg.
Sometimes you can think we want that 15 over, 75 in the last 5, 60 in the last 5, go up 12s. But sometimes you just break it down a little further into bite-sized chunks. So yes, Holder's only 14 off 10, Carty 16 off 13, doesn't set the world alight, but within the next 12 balls or so, if you hit 4 of them for 6s, 5 of them for 6s, all of a sudden that changes the course of the game. So it's always important to face this one ball, forget what is gone.
Short and missed by Carty. But you're right, 16 balls remaining, and so much can happen in T20 cricket in the space of 16 deliveries.
Correct, and that's why you just think about this over. He had a really good over from Markadere last over. He was really clever in how he went about it, but this is the over that means something. The next ball is the only important ball. 4 balls left in this over. You get 3 boundaries, you get a little bit of momentum going into the last 2 overs, and the whole picture changes.
Hit hard, Markadere is there, he's not going to reach it though. He'll race away for 4. Carty to 20, and West Indies bring up the...
Surprising choice from Carty to back away. With Liam McCarthy bowling majority of the balls wide, but he read it correctly. And he gave himself just enough room to get it through the offside.
It brings up the 200 for West Indies. Carty goes straight again, and while Harry Tector is there and trying to get around, it'll go all the way for 6. And Casey Carty coming to his own now, 10 off the last 2 deliveries. And playing with a great deal of freedom.
This is how quickly the scenario can change. A good slap straight back. He's been trying to get those balls through the offside early in his innings. This time he stayed a little more compact and aimed straight.
Carty backing away, looking to create a little space for himself.
That is a real different skill. Finishing the innings with the bat. Casey Carty would normally, in a 50 over game, if this were over 47.5, he'd already been well set, probably standing his ground and playing his shots. Come in, he's only faced 17 balls and expected to explode.
And this will go all the way, I think. Either way, it's all the way to the boundary. Liam McCarthy ends with 0 for 81, the most expensive bowling figures for Ireland in T20 internationals. 18 done, 214 for 4. Sterling, very tactically astute leader, 12 balls remaining though in this innings. 214 for 4, the best ever return for West Indies against Ireland in matches between the respective teams, surpassing their 208 for 7 in St George's in 2020. That is hit very firmly indeed by Jason Holder. Markader a little full. Jason Holder taking full advantage.
Standing is wrong on this occasion, no movement. I think that strong, steady base helped him to access. It's a low full toss. Sometimes those are the harder balls to hit. He was able to get under it and get it over mid-off, who's now going back on the boundary.
And the umpire does not call that wide because Holder had moved so far across in his crease. Now, these are the kind of calls that have caused a little bit of controversy. That has come across.
That's almost on the ball. Must be a wide.
That's going to be wide.
And this is where you get into a little game of cat and mouse at the moment. We saw that funky field just behind the umpire. That fielder would normally be at short fine leg. West Indians are not heavy rampers and scoopers, so there's a vacant area just in and around short fine leg. If Jason Holder gets down on one knee and scoops it, he has 4 or 6.
This looks to be headed towards the fielder, who takes a fantastic catch diving forward. It's Ross Adair, and Holder goes for 18.
Full and straight from Markader. He's changed his tactic, and ball Adair caught Adair, and it's Adair for Jason Holder, who's lost his wicket, gone for 18. West Indies 219 for 5.
Jason Holder was caught, Ross there, old Martin there for 18. For the West Indies, wearing 16, Mario Shepherd.
Mario Shepherd comes to the crease, and he's greeted by a short ball that is called wide. Over the batter's head. Mario Shepherd, fresh from winning the IPL with RCB. We're just having a little check on the no ball here as well. So it's not going to be wide, it's going to be a no ball. And that'll mean a free hit. Nothing behind the line from Markader. So free hit. And there are a few more dangerous batters. Mario Shepherd, who you'd like to be bowling to with a free hit. Just this season smashed 53 or 14 for RCB against Chennai Super Kings. Against a full international attack. And somehow looks to have lost a full toss on his pads.
Such good skills from Markader. You'll probably see that brought out again before the end of the over. But he's gone for the juggler, back of the hand, dipping and deceiving for Mario Shepherd.
one is hit firmly. He's happy to watch that fly all the way over the rope for a massive 6.
This is a remarkable shot. It's normally a shot you see with high pace, but he's able to pick that up and put the power and the pace on it and hit it miles. I'm not sure of the geography of Northern Ireland, but I think we're in County Tyrone, and that's hit out of County, I reckon.
Over the rolling hills of County Tyrone and away. That was very firmly struck against Ireland's most successful bowler in T20 internationals, Mark Adair, 128 wickets. There are only 7 men in T20 internationals that have more wickets than Mark Adair. And that is a stunning list of bowlers. It's topped by Tim Southey with 164. It was well wide, and he latches onto that very quickly with a little uppercut, and Shepherd makes it back-to-back 6s to end the 19th. West Indies 232 for 5.
Another remarkable shot. Ball before on the leg side. This one chasing it wide outside off stump. Pace off. Pace put well and truly back on by Shepherd. Off the ground. Don't you be proud of that, helicopter-esque and a maximum.
6 balls remaining. West Indies 232 for 5. Ireland have only ever scored 226 in a T20 international previously. It would need to be their biggest ever total if they are to chase down the target that West Indies set. Still 6 balls remaining. Carty on strike to Barry McCarthy. Carty has got underneath this one. It's going to fly away for 6. Comfortable for 6.
I think the Paraguays have missed one last over. Remember in the ball, that was called a wide for height, so that should have been one over the shoulder. And the last ball of that over that was cut for 6, I'm sure it was above the shoulder again. So that should have been in the ball and an extra delivery for the West Indies.
Carthy, slower ball, but again it skews away off the bat. This time away for 4. Dockrell can't get round to prevent it from going over the rope. 10 off the first 2 balls. And Carlos, you needed only 4 balls to make 24 against Ben Stokes back in 2016. 4 balls remain in this innings.
You hope you get somewhere close to 24. What I've loved in his first couple balls of this over, he's still committed to playing good cricket strokes, the ones that we know him for, the classy over the offside strokes, as opposed to getting too funky. He's in control, 42 off 20. Just back your timing, back your hands, back your ability to time the ball out of the ground.
Short, lofted, McCarthy can't get there. Off the splice of the bat from Casey Carty.
There would have been a sneaky thought in the back of the mind, 42 off 20 with 4 balls to go. Can I get a 50 on debut?
I was just thinking that. At a strike rate of over 200. For a batter who was pigeonholed as being somebody who is a little too patient, couldn't quite get going, particularly in the early stages of his innings. Here he is playing a very fine knock on debut. 43 of 21, but he's at the non-striker's end. It's Romario Shepherd going at a strike rate of 300 to face Barry McCarthy. 3 balls remaining. West Indies 243 for 5. Gets behind it, and there's plenty of power in that strike from Romario Shepherd. It flies away for 6. West Indies 1 away from 250 with 2 balls remaining in the innings. One
of the most dangerous hitters in world cricket. So back of the hand, He's waited on it again, Romario Shepherd, and he spiked it over mid-wicket onto the grass banks.
So how does McCarthy respond? 17 off the first 4 deliveries of this over. Full toss, scramble through for the single.
Now, folks, we know the ball doesn't have body parts, but if there was ever a drop of the shoulder, that was it. A dirty little backspin. And as Brian McCarthy was bending down to pick it up, just spun away from him. Left him quite embarrassed.
250 up for West Indies.
Hits into the boot and he gets there. Brian McCarthy looks at it and almost a table tennis shot.
I was about to say that's like Oakmont at the US Open in golf. Plenty of backspin. Final ball of the innings. Dispatched, is it? Fielders coming round, but they'll watch it go over the fence. Barry McCarthy concedes 3 sixes in the final over. West Indies romp to 256 for 5 in their 20 overs, their second highest total in T20 internationals. They missed out on the highest total by just 2. Wonderful finish from Romario Shepherd. At the innings break. There's much to discuss for Ireland. Through 20 overs, 256 for 5. West Indies. Well, quite remarkable when you think that Matt Humphrey's bowled 4 overs for 16, but let's take you through the batting card. The opening partnership was just superb.
Yeah, Evan Lewis, they started short 91 from 44 balls, but in tandem nicely with Shea Hope. And this is one thing that they wanted to do and resurrect and correct the opening partnerships, and ably finished by Casey Carty. Dropped down the order as a result of that opening partnership, but managing to get 49 off 22 not out, just short of a 50 on T20 debut. And as you can see, partnerships all the way down. A little bit of a blip in between.